My name is Edwige Simon, and I'm the director of this program. I've been working in the field of foreign language teacher professional development since 2005. I worked for 10 years as a language technology specialist at the Anderson Language and Technology Center at CU Boulder. And then in 2015, I became director of this program, and I wrote on the site founding director because I created the program and the curriculum and I launched it together with Mark Knowles, who was the director of the Language Center at the time, and he's now retired, but he still teaches the second language acquisition course in the summer. I'm also the LGTC course instructor, and LGTC is our course code. And so if you decide to take courses with us, chances are you will take a course with me because I teach almost all the courses. And then on the side, I also manage a fully online magazine called the FLT Mag. It's a magazine that I launched with a bunch of colleagues in 2013. It's completely free, it's online, and I would really encourage you to check it out because it's a fantastic resource where teachers and language educators share what they do with technology and projects and things like that. As of this summer, the FLT Mag has been adopted by a big language learning with technology organization, and so it's no longer my thing. It's now part of IALT, the International Alliance for Teaching with Technology, Teaching Languages with Technology. And so, but I'm going to continue managing this magazine, and I'll mention in a few moments why this is relevant to you as a potential certificate student. So first, one thing I want to clarify, a graduate certificate is a credential, but it's not a degree. If you complete the 12 credits, you will still get your certificate, you will still get a degree in the mail, but it's not technically a degree, it's a credential. You can also call it a specialization. And so it's a way to acquire in-depth expertise in a particular area, and our focus is technology and technology-infused language teaching. And so what this means is that because it's a certificate, you don't have to formally apply to the program. You don't have to upload transcripts. Whether you want to take one course or all 12 credits, the process is the same. You just take courses. And so there's an online registration form that takes about 15 minutes. And then you get a student number and the information you need to just start taking courses with us. The minimum requirement to take courses with us is a BA. I also recommend an affiliation with the field of language teaching, because otherwise you're really not going to enjoy what we do, because that's all we talk about. The language classroom, language teaching, students, languages, language learning. Since this is a graduate certificate, and I want to emphasize that these are not continuing education credits. These are traditional graduate credits. And so what this means is that you could also combine the certificate with a master's program of your choice, because most master's program will accept up to 9 credit transfers. So it depends on the receiving institution. We have no control over that, but generally, if you're doing a master's in language education, they should be able to accept at least 9 transfer credits. And I'm actually right now working with a university, and since the agreement is not final, I don't want to say which university, but they went to their graduate school and asked to allow students to transfer 12 credits instead of just 9. And so what will happen is that the students, when they're done with their master's, they will have a master's from that university and a graduate certificate from the University of Colorado Boulder. So there are different ways that you can really capitalize on those credits that you complete with us. The other thing that you get is a technology credential. And it's not just a piece of paper. You will have done so many projects, and many students end up presenting webinars. Many students end up writing an article for the FLT Mag. And so you will really not only have this credential, but you will also have a lot of evidence of what you've learned and of the way you integrate technology in the language classroom. This is not a program where we spend a lot of time talking about Kahoot or, little pieces of Quizlet, or we talk about them, but the overall goal of the program is to learn about meaningful technology integration. So we have a student showcase page where you can see that the projects that students end up developing in the program are usually larger projects that you would complete over the course of 2 or 3 classes. Another benefit of the program is that you will meet new colleagues, but I'm gonna let, if I get a couple students to talk about their experience in the program, they'll maybe share something about that. And some ideas and lesson plans. Everything we do in the program is shared. So when 1 week we all have to build a lesson plan on an authentic website, you not only have your lesson plan, but you have 17 other lesson plans depending on how many people are in the class with you at that point. And as I mentioned, I try to give every student who is interested a chance to present their project to webinars. And I mean, some of those webinars are really well attended. We've had up to 500 attendees, not always live, but combined with people who request the recording. So that's really good exposure. And I also give every student who wants a chance to publish in the FLT Mag, I provide feedback. We work together on articles. So there's more to just taking courses, I think, in the process of becoming a part of this program. I'm gonna let Roslyn, can you hear me? Do you want to unmute yourself? So Roslyn is a certificate student, and I also have Natalie. These are the very two generous students who responded to my request sent very late yesterday. Roslyn, you're finished, right?
I am finished as of last week.
All right, so I need to work on that. I need to declare your certificate, and to get the process started. So do you want to share a few words about your experience in the program and whether you benefited from it?
Sure. I think one of the things that I really liked about this program is that all of the things that we did were so practical. And all of the projects that I worked on or things that I created are things that I can take right back to my classroom and use. And like we said, you have other people in the class so that you can also take, other people's projects that, you can also apply to your classroom. One of the other things that I really enjoy is having contact with people all over the country who you can bounce ideas off of them. Sometimes someone will do something in a way you hadn't thought of, so you get a new approach to a way that you want to do something to use technology in your classroom. So it has been very educational. I've learned a lot of things, but it's also been very practical. So I think it is sort of the best of both worlds.
Thank you. And Roslyn, can you remind us of where you are and what you teach?
Yes, I teach Spanish at a middle school in Virginia.
Awesome. All right.
I really enjoyed the collaboration with all of my colleagues and being able to discuss like specific technology projects or ideas or trials and tribulations that we have to go through. But I mean, like, it's just great because you every single time we have a discussion, I end up writing down at least 5 or 6 different like apps or articles that we share with each other that just it's like real professional development, and I get so much more out of this than I do in, let's say, my pre-planning sessions this week or like that I just ran out from. Or like, different county ones, because it's really specific to all of us as world language educators, no matter what level, K through 12 and higher ed. And it's just nice to have that communication going
on. So let's move on to the certificate. So as I mentioned, it's 12 credits. You don't have to take 12 credits. We actually have 21 credits, so there are choices. You don't have to take all the courses we offer. You can pick and choose what you want. The courses are fully online, and they are all asynchronous. That means there is no requirement for you to be at a certain spot at a certain time. I mentioned that in the summer course we did some live sessions, but that was an agreement amongst the very few students in the class, and everybody was on board with it. But in a regular certificate course, there is sometimes the option to attend a live session because it's fun, but it's never required. Also, the work is always spread out over the course of 1 week. The course is organized by week. And so the work is always kind of spread out over the course of 7 days. And there are deadlines, but again, you always have up to 3 days to complete a given assignment. Let's talk about cost, because it's an important consideration and I understand it. We charge $495 per credit hour. So most of our courses are 2 credits. So it's about $1,000 per course. The entire certificate program is a little bit under $1,000. As I mentioned, these are regular traditional graduate credits that you can transfer to a graduate degree. We do have payment plans. Tuition, depending on when you sign up, is not due at when you sign up. And there is also the option of pay in 2 installments. And we also have a fairly generous refund policy. And so you can drop out of any course by the end of the first week and get a full refund. And so there are many reasons why students drop, and usually it has to do with life. I get emails from students saying, I love this, but they just added a class to my teaching load, or I got sick, or I got hurt, but you have this 1 week to take a look at the course and decide for yourself whether this is something that you want to pursue. So I would like to really encourage you to do this. So as I mentioned, payment plans are available. Tuition is not due when you register, but usually after, and you get a full refund if you drop by the first Friday of the week. So that's that for the cost of the program. Did I forget anything? We do have technology, and our program is really targets foreign language teachers and ESL or TESOL teachers. So we follow the ACTFL standards, and all of our courses are focused on language learning. All right, so let's talk about as I said, you can just take this course if this is why you're here today. And this is how a lot of students end up in the program. They come in, they take one course, they like it, and they stay. But if you don't, you don't have to stay. This is an 8-week course, and it will start September 15th. And it's a course where we explore how to teach languages online. We look at best practices, we look at course design, look at effectiveness. Many people have preconceived ideas about whether languages can be taught online, and so we look at all that. Is it a good fit for you? Is it a good fit for your students? Is it a good fit for your school? And as part of the course over 8 weeks, you build a fully online unit. And so by the end of the course, you have a project, you have something that you can, showcase, and which shows that you know what you're doing, that you've learned something. And you've also acquired all this background information. You've read the research about how to teach languages online effectively. And so I would like to add that I get a lot of teachers who take this course, although they are not going to teach fully online, they are going to teach in a hybrid or blended format. And so this course is also a really good fit for teachers who are who are going to make this change, or who are going to teach in a hybrid format. 8 weeks, about $1,000. Let's move on to probably our most popular course. I have at least 11 to 15 students in this course every time I offer it, which is 3 times a year. And it's the only course where you are going to have to be online at a certain time, because you're going to meet with a language partner to work on your proficiency. And in this particular course, let's see, which September 22nd, you are going to be paired with a language partner of your choice. You can choose from a number of trained language partners, but you decide when you meet with them. So everybody has their meetings at different times of the week, and then we have online discussions. So this is 1 credit hour course. It's not really a 6-week course, it's really a 5-week course, but we have a week 0 where we get you set up with your language partners, and we kind of need that time to get things organized. So that's the Telecollaboration Exchange. It's really a great course. I have some students who've shared some things with me if there is time. Actually, let's just take the time. I'm gonna go to my fall course page, fall courses. I was reading the students' reflections this week, and when I see something interesting, I ask them if I can share it. And these are 3 things that my students shared with me this week. Partner, so she's talking about her language partner. She made me feel comfortable immediately. I could tell that through the conversation, my confidence has increased tremendously. And we talk a lot about confidence in that course because this is really what this course is about. You don't always have a chance to work on your language skills. Sometimes you teach French or Spanish 1 or 2 years in a row. Here, another teacher says that her lexicon is growing by virtue of listening to her partner and writing down words that she notices. And then this teacher says this was the confidence boost I needed. I know the knowledge is in there. I just needed a space that was comfortable and in which I could reactivate it. So we talk a lot about reactivation in that course. The knowledge is there. Where is it? Let's wake it up. Going back to my presentation. Last course that we're going to offer this fall is the Tools in Practice course, and it is also an 8-week course that's over 20th. It is a course where every week you are going to look at a different theme. The first week we're going to talk about the ACTFL standards, the 21st century skills map, and then the SAMR model of technology integration. And then the rest of the course, every week we're going to look at a different theme. So we're going to look at digital storytelling with Adobe Spark. And this fall, I'm adding ThingLink as an option for digital storytelling projects. And then we're going to look at gamification strategies. We're going to look at the one-to-one classroom. We're going to look at teaching with authentic resources. And we're going to get into that discussion of whether or not we should teach with authentic resources. As you know, there is quite a bit of a conversation going on about that right now. And every week you will have the option to complete a small lesson plan. And so since everything we do in the program is shared, you will not only have your lesson plan, but everybody else's to take with you. As part of this course, you're going to build a technology integration project, a small scale project, but you're going to build it over the course of 8 weeks and implement at least a portion of it in one of your classrooms. And this is where a lot of our showcase projects come from. So I'm going to show you some of these showcase projects. I'm going to go to the certificate website right now. And under student showcase, I think that's the student projects. You have a long list of projects. So the Global Citizenship Project came from the spring version of, I think the spring version, no, actually the fall version of 5030. So this very course that I'm presenting. And then you have all these projects here that, for the most part, came out of Tools in Practice. So you're welcome to watch the presentations and download the slides to just get a sense of what these projects look like. I'm going to go back to my screen. All these projects, they are broken down into several installments. And so in my program, in my courses, you never have a huge final project hanging over your head. Usually the last week of the course is actually pretty relaxing because you've done most of the work, and we spend the last week of the course looking at each other's projects and giving feedback and comments. So if you're worried about being able to keep up with the course, you can rest assured that if you do a little bit of work every week, it's never going to be overwhelming. And that's it for the Tools in Practice course. As I mentioned, it starts October 20th and goes until December 15th. It is one of the 2 requirements for the certificate program, but you're also welcome to just take this course if you want to look at all these themes with us. If you want to experience a course for yourself, I created an open demo course, and there are annotations in there explaining what's what. And so it's a really good way to really get a sense of what it's like to be a certificate student with us. This is our curriculum. These are the courses that we offer in the summer, fall, spring. This one is crossed out because it's probably going to be replaced with a new course. It's our course on global voices, telecollaboration, but with a broader theme. We're going to talk about using social media and pairing students class to class and one-to-one. And I'm working on the course proposal right now. So it's probably going to be offered late spring. But these are all of our courses. I will email you the slides. You can look at them peacefully when you have a moment. The required courses are in green. I want to specify that there are 2 versions of the Tools in Practice course, but only one is required. One version is offered in the fall, and it's dedicated to mainstream tools, and in the spring we look at emerging tools, such as virtual reality, augmented reality, etc. So really, there are only 2 required courses. So this is a sample week in the certificate courses. New weeks usually start on Sunday and they end on Saturday. And so on Sunday, the weekly unit opens up. And then you have until Wednesday to complete the readings and then answer 2 questions on the discussion board. Very often students do the readings on the weekend, especially if they're taking a course while teaching at the same time. But you really have between Sunday and Wednesday to do this work whenever you want. And then between Wednesday and Saturday, you go back and forth discussing the readings with your classmates and your instructor. And then usually on Saturday noon or Saturday evening, a portion of your final project is due. So that's a very typical week, especially in the 2-hour courses. If you want to check out the student showcase page, you will see again some examples of student projects. These are sample assignments. As you can see, the discussion questions are always very practical. I'm not asking specific questions about what's going on page 13 of the readings. I ask you to react to an aspect of the reading that you want to discuss. If we discuss strategies, I ask you guys to, for example, share strategies that you use to differentiate your instruction. And so these are all examples of very practical discussion questions and assignments from the various courses. This is Canvas. This is what it looks like when you log into 5030. You get a course introduction, and then it's a pretty standard learning management system. And then each week is organized by module. And this is our question page. So I am going to stop sharing. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to stay on here and chit chat with you about the program and the requirements and any questions you have. Hi, Claudia, how are you?
Fine, thanks. So my question is about the progression of the classes. So is it something that you have to take classes every term, or can you skip a term? Like if there's something coming on, like, because for example, right now I'm in Argentina and I'm teaching here. So, and then I go back to Vermont and I teach there. So it changes quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So is it something that I can like skip a term? How does that work?
So there is no sequencing. And I thought real good and hard because we do have a foundation course, but it doesn't matter whether you've taken courses before or this is the first course you take. So there are no prerequisites. And there are more courses than, so there are 12 required credits. There are 21 credits to choose from. So once you've taken the 2 requirements, you can really take whatever you want. You have up to 3 years to complete the program,
okay,
which is more than enough. So I do have students who take a semester off. That happens quite frequently. And you can take this summer, I had students who took 4 courses at the same time, which is really a lot. And then I have students who complete the program in 2 years. So it's entirely up to you.
So you don't have to sign up for the certificate from the beginning. It's like, so you just continue doing them until when you're done with all the courses is when you get the certificate, right?
Exactly. So it really doesn't matter whether you're taking your first course wanting to do the certificate or not. You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
The only thing, and I keep track, sometimes I see students and I'm thinking, well, she's got 11 credits. So,
yeah.
She's missing that one course, I'm going to email her or him. And, but there's no, you don't have to apply. It's,
okay.
So for example, Rosalind is done. She's finished her 12 credits. And so and she hasn't applied to anything. She's just been taking courses. But we keep track and CU keeps track. So tomorrow, today, I'm going to go and declare her certificate. And Natalie in the chat window says, I took a semester off and only have time for 1 class a semester. Everybody's on a different
schedule. Okay. Yeah, that's probably my case. Yeah. Yeah.
Great question. Thank you. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to let you go. And I'm sure a lot of you are already in your classrooms getting ready for the beginning of the school year. So good luck with that. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. And as I mentioned, all it takes to start taking courses with us is visiting our website. I'll email you instructions as I email you a copy of the recording, and get started. Let me know if you have any questions, and you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Rosalind. Thank you, Natalie, for joining us.